almost a bit pedal
Don't you bend mine out.
I know, yeah, I'll probably put it completely out of tune now, but why are we here, Jack?
We're here to talk about a new overdrive pedal. Something a little bit different though, and I will say that legitimately this time, because this is the first overdrive pedal I've seen in a while that's actually claiming to be something completely different, rather than its own thing. So, so explain what I mean by that.
It's the new Wampler Pantheon overdrive. It's heavily inspired, I guess, by well, and they're making pretty bold claims and not hiding that it's basically there to feed the desires of those that want a King of Tone pedal but don't want to wait 2 years to get on the waiting list.
Yes. Yeah.
And just because I can, I've got one.
Of course.
A King of Tone, and I've had it for ages in the big box of things. And actually, this came as on part of a trade deal or something ages ago. Anyway, that I did. So I didn't have the patience to wait for one. It just arrived.
It just landed
and
on
it's
your
here.
lap. Yeah.
So
fortunately, we can do a proper comparison.
Yeah. I think the thing with it is like there's always going to be subtle differences between, I guess, between two King of Tone pedals. There's going to be slight differences, but I guess what Wampler have tried to achieve is the essence of the pedal. Of a few different ones, I guess, that they've tried to kind of encapsulate that tone and get it there for the masses, basically, with all the the standard kind of Wampler stuff that they do as well. I guess they've tried to put in the two sides into one pedal, because you've got this overdrive voice gain level thing on there as well, which you can do from the dip switches inside, and obviously you've got the two channels on there as well. Obviously, when you was playing there at the start, just switching between a couple of different, switching between the Pantheon and the King of Tone, it's pretty close.
It is quite close, yeah, and the feel is very similar as well, and that's often the important deciding factor with overdrives, isn't it? And the way it responds to your pick and stuff. Yeah,
just give us some of the clean sound. Let's go into the 2-rock Bloomfield drive. So we've got it set pretty clean, no, just a little bit of reverb.
Yeah, so here's the dry tune.
Let's start with the Pantheon again. Let's have a little bit of that on. So I've got it set at the moment, kind of how we had it at the start, where we were just doing kind of A-Bs just to try and match the sound up. So it's the Pantheon. So it's got that kind of the sound of a cranked up amp, but without the mid-range kind of boost quite so much as what you get with a tube screamer, not so much bass cut, which I guess a lot of people are trying to look for in a tube screamer, but that's why some people, I guess, don't get on with it.
Yeah, and they suit amps, but these are all designed, and it says in the blurb as well that they're designed to work with any amp, whether it's clean or dirty or red.
Yeah, we tried it through the, perhaps we will have a little go through the Badger later, which is a British sounding, much more mid-rangey kind of tone with a bit more crunch. But yeah, so try Pantheon again. Cool, right, King of Tone. And again, one more time, Pantheon. It's something I think, with the Pantheon, I think he's just got perhaps a smidge less of those honkier kind of mids, but you like that anyway, don't you?
I kind of like that because of how it translates to a band mix. But I think if you're just sitting having a play like we are today, that kind of feels a little bit nicer. It's got that sheen around it that
will sound
get
nice
lost in
on
the band anyway.
Sound nice. That I think the Pantheon's going to sound really good with the Strat neck pickup as well. But so let's just have a little bit of a dial through of some of the different settings. Let's go with the max gain on the Pantheon, and then we'll compare that to the maximum gain on just one of the channels on the King of the Tone.
It's worth pointing out as well, we're on the sort of lowest gain. There's 3 gain modes on the Pantheon, as there are on the internals of the King of Tone. We're on the lowest of those 3 at the moment, so this is kind of just really that nice, like you said, amp breaking up kind of tone.
And this also has a lot more output as well, which one of the things that does annoy me with the King of Tone. I sometimes can never get quite enough output with the gain down
as you want it. Yeah, sure.
So right, so let's just I'm going to put the gain up to about halfway. Well, no, 1 o'clock. Let's go 1 o'clock and half on the volume. Try that. Just going to the overdrive voice to the middle position. Up the top. I'll just try everything with the EQs at halfway as well, so everyone gets a rough idea. I'll put the gain at half as well, everything at halfway.
A bit brighter than the King of Tone.
Yeah, but it has got, you can really darken it right off. Well, just play that and I'll go through some of the settings. Seems really responsive as well.
Very responsive, and I'll back off the guitar volume so you can hear how that works as well.
Sweet. Okay, right. Well,
it's got all that dynamism.
Yeah. Right. Let's go to the middle position on the gain level. I'll leave the voice switch where it is. So let's just have a quick play of where you was before, and I'll switch it into the middle position just quickly. Try that. I guess that's the sort of level of gain that you could probably get if you had the gains pretty high and you had both channels of the King of Tone on.
Yeah, that's quite a range that it's got, going from really quite clean to full on. That's virgin on distortion territory, isn't it?
Yeah, let me just, I'm going to put both channels of the King of Tone on now. Let's just bring the levels down. I'm blowing everyone's ears off. I'll put the gains at, let's go at 3 o'clock on each channel. Try it, just get a level for us. Quite dark sounding. Let's see if we can match that up now. So I'll stay on that middle position. I'm just going to roll the treble and the bass back just a little bit there. Let's try that.
Yeah, it's still got that sheeny thing to it, which is nice. It brings out a bit more detail.
Low to bottom end.
Yeah. They are similar, aren't they? Yeah. But the analog man's
vibe, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's got the vibe.
Right, let's go to the top position on the gain level now. Try that.
It's a little bit smoother, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
That'll suit your Strat neck pickup, I think.
Yeah. And that in the bottom position of the voice switch there, it definitely seems to have a bit more mid-range to it.
Right.
I think. Okay. So it's all the way down. Try that. Middle's definitely a bit more sweet.
Okay,
and then the top. High-end roll off as well, seems like. So I think, you know,
but that's more noticeable at the higher end of the gain.
Yeah, we could hear that a lot more then, couldn't we? So yeah. I think I actually quite like that mode there, the gain level right up high, but with the switch down. Yeah. Try that.
It's big and open, but it's smooth at the same time.
Yeah. If you really want to, obviously you haven't got that bass control on the King of Tone, so you can really thicken up. I'm just going to get this telly sounding as creamy as possible. Probably going to be too much low end, but let's just see what you can do.
It's a huge low frequency, isn't it? It's not.
Probably too much for most people, but if you want that real big sort of 412-y kind of sound out of a smaller amp, then
yeah, it's nice just to have the options anyway.
Let's go a bit. Let's see if we can get it a bit more nasty sounding as well. Right, presence up. I'll try that. I think the overwhelming opinion on that voice switch is for us definitely. I think we'd probably both like it in that down position there.
With the most mid-range content. It sounds the most similar to what it's claiming to be is in that position as well.
You know, sometimes you think, oh, you know, that position, you know, might sound a bit harder to actually play, but when you actually play in with a band, that'll really help it cut through the mix a bit more, won't it? So plenty of range available anyway out of the pedal. Why don't you plug in the 335 and see what you can do with that, and then we'll have a quick go of a Strat. So I'm just going to add in a very, very light amount of overdrive. Try the see what the clarity's like still on the neck pickup of the guitar. Yeah. Let's give it a bit more reverb. Adding a very small amount of gain, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's very clear, like you said. It's nice to have that much range in the treble and the treble and presence.
Yeah, but I don't ever feel like you have to use any of the extremes. No. Like so many overdrive pedals, you're turning the tone or the presence almost onto zero, aren't you? Especially for a cleaner amp like this. Yeah. So again, let's just run the gain levels up higher with a humbucker. See if we can get it. It's kind of a creamy sort of, you know, the woman Tony type sort of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Let's give it some of that.
That's nice and smooth.
Go on now. Add a bit more top.
That's getting into kind of bottom massive territory.
That hard rock sort of thing going on as well. Pretty sweet that now.
It fulfills that cliche of an always on kind of pedal, doesn't it? Because you could leave it on and just use your guitar volume to do the work.
And the mid range and the bass isn't kind of completely robbing the overall core tone of the amp. Because even when you hear that, like, try the clean sound. When we put in the overdrive now, it's not particularly boosting one frequency, is it? Like that.
It sounds like you turned the amp up more, but managed to control it in some way. How does that compare to the King of Tone with this guitar?
Let's go with it. I'll put both channels on because it just doesn't have as much gain as that, and it went with just one on. Let's try and dial some of that in.
much more controllable.
Yeah.
So.
And you've got everything up much higher on the King of Tone to try and get that kind of sound. So.
Yeah. Let's do it with a Strat, shall we?
Yeah. Let's do it. Back again with the Strat now. Got let's see if we can dial up some lower gain type sort of stuff with this, shall we? What's they? Yeah, that's in the down position.
So that's the lowest gain. Before, it's not really hyping anything up in particular.
It's just adding like almost just an extra kind of layer of compression almost, isn't it? Like
It's not one of those pedals you have to think about being on or off, really, is it? You can just by altering your touch, you can make it work.
Totally, yeah. So I've got that. So if you just hit it soft, it's got those dynamics there as well.
Lovely. So should we hear it up against the
on the lower
boost side of the?
So that just sounds flat now after that, I think.
Yeah.
Which perhaps means that, you know, it's not an exact copy, which is maybe for a good reason, but. It's just a bit more kind of chewy, isn't it? A bit more juicy. It's got a bit more.
That sounds really nice, I think. So if we move up the gain level, perhaps we can put to the top mode that you liked.
Yeah.
And then we'll try against the red side of the King of Tones. So.
It's funny because the different kind of extreme settings kind of work better for this than it did for the telly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
much more subtle than I was expecting it to be. The differences between them. This has still just got a bit more of that top end detail to it.
Yeah. Especially on the higher gain settings. I think the King of Tones works really well each channel kind of thing when you have them on their own. But the Pantheon kind of seems to hold it together a little bit more when you bring up the gain.
For the high gain stuff.
Yeah, let's bring the gain up a little bit more and let's see if we can smooth out the sound of the bridge pickup on a Strat a bit. See if we can. The only problem with the Strat trem, when you bend it, it makes everything.
Sounds good though. Do you want to hear both sides of these together?
Yeah, let's try that.
And then we'll try the highest gain level, which is the one in the middle on this one. So
cool.
different there.
Yeah.
But the feel is quite similar though, would you say?
It kind of feels a little bit more squishy under the fingers, the Pantheon. Yeah, I think it's because it just doesn't quite have as much of that kind of honky and mid-range. It's a little bit more smoothed out. Yeah, it's definitely a bit more forgiving. So
the thing I like about this especially is this voice, even though we like it in the sort of the most mids setting, if you do have an amp and you find that tube screamer syndrome where if it's too clean and it's all just honky and mid-rangey, you can get rid of that.
Yeah, well, let's put it on the gain channel of the amp. Quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, hit the
lead switch.
Make sure it's not. It's a level, all right. So a little bit more from gain from the amp. It's kind of where it was when we was having that set low, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. So I'll bring the gain down a little bit, put it back into the top gain level switch, which is the overdrive.
Yeah, and I wonder what that switch will be like now.
The voice switch. Yeah, we can play with that. Yeah.
It's kind of a bit more razor, isn't it now? Completely different on that channel.
Very different. That now sounds really good to have the voices in the upper positions because it just takes away some of that.
The honk.
Yeah. Take it back to the lowest gain level and use it more like a boost. lovely.
Yeah. I think with the King of Tone, you just can't dial out that.
No, the mid-range kind of. But I do think it's the most similar to it in this kind of setting, where it's like lower gain, not pushing any particular frequency too much. Plus, then you've got extra control to tailor this one exactly how you want it to sound. Yeah. But they're close. But
yeah, I wonder if the Pantheon, how much difference it would make at 18 volts as well. We got a lead there. We can try 18 volts because you can run that 18 volts. I'm not sure if you can with the King of Tone, but let's just see what it does. Let's switch her off. Right, so we're at 18 volts now. Let's try that. See what that's done to the tone. I'm kind of guessing it'll be a lot louder.
A bit bolder.
Yeah. Less compression.
Headroom.
Yeah. Outside of the comparison, that's how I would prefer to use it like that. I think at 18 volts for the sound I like anyway.
Yeah. That's so punchy now.
Yeah, go on, give it a smashing on the Strat. We'll play you out on this. We probably bored everyone census. What was going to be a 5-minute videos turned into something a lot longer.
Well, it does sound really good. So.
It does sound good, and you know, when you've got a good tone, just got to go with it.
Yeah, roll with it.